you. Nikki Sinclaire was the first female member of UKIP's national executive. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, I'm also obviously a current member of the European Parliament and was elected as a UKIP MEP, one of two in 2009. And I think the telling thing is, Stephen, that both of us are now not with UKIP, both citing misogynistic tendencies at the head of UKIP. And when I talk about the head of UKIP, I am talking about the head of UKIP, Nigel Farage, who really does have a problem with intelligent women.
In what way?
Well, he just doesn't like us. And I challenge you to name me one woman in UKIP that's been there more than 5 years, because women do not last. Me and Martha Andreasen are no longer in the party. Before us, there was Patrina Holdsworth. She didn't last long. Before that, going back some years, Janet Gersman. And that's the reality of UKIP. Nigel Farage cannot deal with intelligent women.
Well, he would deny that.
Well, I've just given you some facts. Obviously, he's only ever two female parliamentarians. He's lost. In fact, he's actually lost a quarter of his MEPs that he got elected in 2009. Four of us have left, and one's kind of half left.
Why did you leave?
Why did I leave? Because of the extremism in Nigel Farage's group in the European Parliament, Holocaust denial, wanting to ethnically cleanse cities of homosexuals. They're the links that Nigel Farage has to the European Parliament in the group that he leads, the EFD. And I couldn't stay, and that's why I left. But a lot of it was misogynistic. I had problems with Godfrey Bloom, homophobia behaviour by Godfrey Bloom. It's just not a very nice. When I was on the national executive of the party, I used to meet in gentlemen's clubs, and I don't mean the seedy kind, I mean the gentlemen's clubs of London, and women weren't allowed in. So when we went there for meetings, we were only allowed to go into the meeting room, but we weren't allowed in the bars afterwards, which in these kind of meetings, all the real business is done in the bars afterwards. That's the kind of party UKIP is.
And what do you make of Godfrey Bloom's slut comments?
Look, first of all, it doesn't surprise me. He did cause offence. I think that he's one of those chaps who thinks by causing offence he will get publicity. And I think before now, while UKIP were a lesser-known party, they would get away with that. And I think, as your previous person said, they kind of revelled in it. Now, of course, they're seeking to become a real force in British politics, and they're being scrutinised more. And they're having to learn fast that they cannot deal with this type of politics. But I think the cancer within UKIP is deep-rooted, and I don't think they're
doing okay at the elections.
They're doing okay at the elections, because I think that they're seen as the protest vote at the moment. And that's where they are, because the Lib Dems are no longer there as the protest vote. And of course, and I'm still very much in tune with their policies of referendum on Europe and so forth and everything. And there's a growing need for that. But the reality of UKIP is there's a core misogynistic streak that runs through UKIP. They will show up some members and say, this female, look, we've got this Diane James in whatever. But Diane James is just a new recruit. When she stood for the council after the Eastleigh by-election, she stood as an independent councillor. She's only relatively new into UKIP. You will not get a senior woman in UKIP that has been there for more than 5 years, because in 2009, when I was elected, I was the most senior UKIP woman in UKIP, along with Martha Andreasen. We were elected to the European Parliament, and both of us have gone. And no woman has ever stayed the course in UKIP because it's too misogynistic.
Okay, thank you. Paul's and Nonny.